was the other woman for 5 years and didn't know it. The city lights blurred past the taxi window, each one a tiny spark against the velvet black. I leaned my head against the cool glass, the hum of the engine a dull counterpoint to the frantic rhythm of my heart. 5 years. 5 years I'd given him. 5 years of believing in us. I met Daniel at a gallery opening. He was across the room, leaning against a pillar, the low light catching the sharp angles of his face. He had that brooding artist vibe, the kind that makes you want to unravel their secrets. And God, did he unravel mine? He was an architect, or so he said. A brilliant one, always on the verge of a breakthrough project, always just a little too busy. But that busyness, that scarcity, only made the moments we had together feel more precious. Our dates were stolen moments, whispered conversations in dimly lit restaurants, hurried weekends away to charming BBS in the countryside. He always had an excuse, a demanding client, a last-minute meeting for why he couldn't fully commit, for why our relationship had to remain a carefully guarded secret. My business partners, he'd said once, stroking my hair, they wouldn't understand a serious relationship right now. It could jeopardize everything. Stupidly, I believed him. I was young, successful, a marketing executive climbing the corporate ladder. I was used to playing the game, to making sacrifices for my career. So I made sacrifices for us. Chloe, my best friend since university, never bought it. He's seeing someone else, Sarah. I'm telling you. No guy in his 30s is that busy. It's bullshit. I'd always defended him, listing his accomplishments, his dedication to his work. You don't understand. He's different. But even I couldn't ignore the creeping doubts that gnawed at the edges of my happiness. The phone calls he'd take outside, his voice lowered to a conspiratorial whisper. The vague answers he'd give when I asked about his weekend. The way he'd flinch if I tried to surprise him at his office, a modern glass-fronted building in Canary Wharf where he apparently worked all hours. Then there were the little things. A splash of unfamiliar cologne on his collar, a stray blonde hair clinging to his jacket, the time he called me Emily in his sleep. He quickly dismissed it as a dream, but the seed of suspicion had been planted. His business trips became more frequent. Paris, Rome, Barcelona. Luxurious destinations, perfect for romantic getaways. Except I was always home, alone, waiting for a phone call that often didn't come. One Tuesday, I decided to surprise him at his office. I'd picked up his favorite sandwich from Pret, a small olive branch in the face of my growing unease. The receptionist greeted me with a polite, but puzzled smile. Daniel, I'm sorry, there's no one by that name who works here. My stomach dropped. I stammered, trying to explain, showing her a photo of Daniel on my phone. She squinted, studying the image. Oh, you must mean Mr. Thompson. He's in a meeting right now, but he's in the finance department. Mr. Thompson, finance, nothing added up. I thanked her, my voice trembling, and walked out, the sandwich suddenly heavy in my hand. I started doing my own digging. I found his social media profiles, locked down tight, but still revealing. There was a photo from a company Christmas party, the background slightly blurred, but I recognized the distinctive decor of a hotel ballroom. I cross-referenced the hotel's event schedule online and found the name of the company that had hosted the party, Thompson Financial. The final piece of the puzzle fell into place when I stumbled upon an old email on his laptop, a plane ticket confirmation in the name of Daniel Thompson, flying to Heathrow from Geneva. I knew he was supposed to be in Barcelona that week. I considered confronting him then, but something held me back. I needed proof. I needed to be sure. Chloe suggested hiring a private investigator. I resisted at first, feeling like I was crossing a line, descending into a world of paranoia and mistrust. But desperation won. The PI sent me a package a week later. Inside were photos. Photos of Daniel. Photos of him with a woman. Photos of him with 2 small children. Photos of him holding hands with the woman, kissing her cheek, pushing the children on swings in a park. The woman's face was blurry in some of the pictures, but still visible enough. She had light blonde hair. The address listed on the PI's report led me to a quaint suburban house in Surrey, complete with a white picket fence and a manicured lawn. It was the picture of domestic bliss, the antithesis of the edgy, unconventional life Daniel had portrayed. I sat in my car for hours, staring at the house, the lights flickering on and off as the family went about their evening routine. I imagined them sitting down to dinner, laughing, sharing stories. I imagined Daniel playing the role of loving husband and father. The next day I waited for him at his office, the real office, the one in finance. He looked shocked when he saw me, his face paling beneath his tan. Sarah, what are you doing here? I didn't say anything. I just held out the photos. He stared at them, his eyes widening with horror. Where did you get these? He whispered, his voice barely audible. Does it matter? I asked, my voice trembling. Tell me the truth, Daniel. Who is she? Who are they? He tried to deny it, to explain, to spin another web of lies, but the photos were irrefutable. Finally, he broke down, confessing everything. His name was Daniel Thompson, not Daniel Hawthorne, as I had believed. He was married to Emily. Liam and Lily were his children. He had been living a double life for 5 years, the world tilted on its axis. My carefully constructed reality shattered into a million pieces. The pain was a physical ache, a crushing weight in my chest. Why? I asked, my voice a broken whisper. Why would you do this to me? He didn't have an answer, or maybe he did, but I didn't want to hear it. His excuses, his justifications were meaningless. The truth was simple and brutal. He had betrayed me. He had stolen 5 years of my life. I walked away, leaving him standing there, his lies exposed, his world crumbling around him. The following weeks were a blur of tears, sleepless nights, and endless replays of the past 5 years, searching for clues I had missed, red flags I had ignored. Chloe was a rock, her cynicism replaced with unwavering support. I'm so sorry, Sarah, she said, holding me close. He's a complete bastard. You deserve so much better. I started seeing a therapist, a kind, patient woman who helped me navigate the wreckage of my emotions. She taught me about gaslighting, about emotional manipulation, about the importance of self-worth. I even met Emily. It was a chance encounter at a local coffee shop. I recognized her from the photos, her face etched with exhaustion and pain. We stared at each other for a long moment, two women caught in the crossfire of one man's deception. She was furious, heartbroken, confused. She wanted to know everything, every detail of our relationship. I told her the truth as best as I could. There was no animosity, just a shared sense of betrayal and a profound sadness. I don't know what to do, she said, her voice cracking. My life is ruined. I didn't know what to say. All I could offer was a shaky, I'm sorry. The legal ramifications were complicated. My lawyer advised me to avoid contact with Daniel and Emily. There were potential charges of alienation of affection, though it was rare for such cases to proceed. Daniel tried to contact me, leaving desperate voicemails, begging for forgiveness. I deleted them without listening. I couldn't bear to hear his voice, to be subjected to his lies one more time. I started focusing on myself, on rebuilding my life. I threw myself into my work, taking on new projects, pushing myself to excel. I reconnected with old friends, went to yoga classes, started painting again, a hobby I had abandoned years ago. David, a colleague who had always been kind and supportive, started asking me out. He was the antithesis of Daniel, honest, reliable, and genuinely interested in my happiness. I was hesitant at first, terrified of getting hurt again. But David was patient, understanding. He didn't pressure me. He just offered his friendship, his support, and his unwavering belief in me. One evening, we went for a walk in the park. The leaves were turning golden brown, the air crisp and cool. We sat on a bench, watching the sunset. You know, David said, turning to me, you're one of the strongest people I know. You've been through hell and you're still standing. I smiled, a genuine smile this time, not the forced smile I had been wearing for months. Thank you, David. That means a lot. He reached out and took my hand. His touch was warm, comforting. I didn't pull away. I knew it would take time to fully heal, to trust again. The scars of Daniel's betrayal would always be there, a reminder of my vulnerability and my capacity for love. But I was learning to forgive myself, to accept the past, and to embrace the future. The future was uncertain, but it was mine. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a flicker of hope. A hope for happiness, for love, for a life built on honesty and authenticity. Maybe, just maybe, I could find my way back to myself, stronger and wiser than before. I looked at David, his eyes reflecting the warm glow of the setting sun, and I smiled. The city lights twinkled in the distance, no longer blurring with tears, but shimmering with possibility.